Hello everyone. Today I'm going to go through several slides here. I'm going to jump around a bunch of different subjects. I put this slide up on my YouTube posts on Super Bowl Sunday, and it shows a scene from IPETGOATII, and what's significant about it is many years ago, Bobby from the Casey Jones Astrology channel and we kind of looked at this scene and figured out that the eclipse they're showing here was an annular eclipse, right? The eclipse that shows the ring of fire around the disk of the moon here. So annular eclipse is when it shows the ring around it. But that annular eclipse was over Kailash, and Mount Kailash right here. This is the eclipse. The annular eclipse, June 21st, 2020. And this is right where Mount Kailash is located, the path of the annular eclipse. And that's why they're showing the mountains here, because this is Mount Kailash. Find it here. There's Mount Kailash. They're showing the striped snow on Mount Kailash there. This is known as the abode of Shiva. It's a sacred mountain. No one is allowed to climb this mountain. I believe it's like the only mountain in the whole world that no one's ever completely ascended. But that's what they're showing here, Mount Kailash. The eclipse 6/21/2020. Today is exactly 3 Martian years, or 2061 days after that eclipse. And the Mars theme was really shown a lot in the Super Bowl. If you watch Decoding with Cody's last video or live stream with Rambo and AJ, we talk about the Mars or the Mar theme. Just a couple days ago, there was another shooting, an ACE shooting or Border Patrol shooting in Chicago. Miramar Martinez. So that Mar and Mars theme, but today, 3 Martian years after the eclipse. On Super Bowl Sunday, it was 177 months, 6 days after Osama bin Laden's reported death of 5/2/2011. And even that 5/2 date is super interesting because that's an anniversary date of the King James Bible, 5/2. So today's an interesting day, 3 Martian years, all the Mars and Mar stuff in the news. To go back to my YouTube channel here, my last 2 videos, St. Martin and how it's connected to Back to the Future, and the ice symbolism, the federal officers. Federal means a covenant between God and man. Did a whole video about the symbolism behind that. And the Alex Preddy shooting. The officers involved were Jesus and Raimundo. So just goes along, the theme continues here, continue with that. And then the latest ice shooting in Chicago, the Mars theme. So we have this continued theme going on. I've been really busy lately, so I haven't been able to put out all the videos I wanted to, but coming up when I have a few days off, I'm going to do a video about this new series, The Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And they're spelling out this. They're showing this in story form with the characters and the events. They're showing it just absolutely perfect. So I will go through that. I have all the slides. They're showing you, it's great storytelling when you know what you're looking at, right? When you understand what's going on with this, the afterbirth, and the baby and the birth certificate stuff, you can see exactly what's going on here. So, right, the tree is the veins and the placenta, and which is the afterbirth. The afterbirth is what gets the land title. Anyways, I'll go through that when I can. A few days, hopefully. What else here? If I do get time, there was a plane crash in Bangor, Maine. There was an interesting radio conversation, right, leading up to the leading up to the crash, someone on the radio came on there and said, "Let there be light." And what I think someone was saying was they were lighting up runways, but right before the crash, there was this transmission on the radio, "Let there be light." Of course, that's from Genesis 1:3. And going along with the ICE theme, or the Border Patrol theme, this was a plane owned by an anti-ICE law firm. And unfortunately, they crashed because there was ice buildup on the wings. So just more of the Matrix showing us this ice symbolism, this covenant between God and man. And it kind of played out, the Matrix played it out perfectly on that plane crash. And I'm not making light of the lives lost. It's just that, it's too obvious to just not mention it to you guys. So, but of course there was a bunch of other channels that covered it, and some comments were made, and it's super interesting. But anyways, if I have a time, maybe I'll do a little video on that, but you get the gist of it. So maybe I just leave it at this. What else here? Night of the Seven Kingdoms. My Odysee channel. I'm going to start putting up some very useful information on here. My next video is going to be a real short video, so I very much encourage you to follow this channel, pay attention to it. When I post a video up here, I will notify you on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to keep the subjects separated, more or less, between my YouTube and Odysee channel. But like I said, a very good video coming up here. And as I said before also, there's about 3 hours worth of content that I direct you to. The first video itself, 50 minutes, and then there's a couple links in the second video that I did. 3 hours of time to, what I say, get the overall basic understanding of what's going on. So when you see the other videos coming, that you'll know, like I said, you have to have a little bit of knowledge. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to admit that you don't know something or that you were wrong about something. I get that, but I will give you some actual useful information here. And then as long as you put in just a little bit of time here, maybe you can get all this fixed, because it does need to be fixed. There is certainly a spiritual war going on. It's manifesting itself in all these archetypes and events, like these plane crashes, Super Bowl stuff. I mean, it's all manifesting itself organically. Some of it's, of course, on purpose, but I would say the majority of it is an organic manifestation of the struggle going on right now between, literally the forces of good and evil. There really is a battle for your soul, and I cannot. I'm fixing that the best I can. There's no way, if all this stuff means nothing, so there is a way to fix it, but it's up to you, and I will try to do my part to help out the best I can. And like I said, go to this channel, try to put in a little time. You are purposely, led away from this, ridiculed, peer pressure to not even look at this stuff, but that's for a reason. It's all part of the spiritual warfare. And like I said, it's manifesting. All this symbolism, all these events we see, it's like the Matrix is trying to help you, pushing you along. It's giving you, signs and symbols. Rule this world, not words or laws. So that's how you're going to get this information, is through the Matrix. And it only takes a little bit of rudimentary understanding to decode this stuff. So I will leave that on my Odysee channel, and then I'll continue with The wormwood symbolism, of course, wormwood is anti-parasite. That's a huge part of this. And I'll keep all that kind of symbolism and stuff with the matrix and events on my YouTube, and then we'll stick to this subject on the Odysee channel. Okay, thank you everyone for all the thumbs up and everything on my videos. I appreciate all the views, appreciate the thumbs up. I do the best I can. I know I'm not the oratory. I know I'm deficient in that category, but I'm trying to improve, and hopefully you'll recognize that information is what's important. So thank you for watching.